What's up guys, this is Will back again, and today's review is Fist Fight. I know I'm super late with this one, but you know how it goes. Too many movies, too little time, and this one is actually still being shown in theaters, so I thought I should still provide you guys my take on it. But anyway, Fist Fight is a comedy film that was directed by Richie Keen and primarily follows Charlie Day's character, a high school English teacher by the name of Andy Campbell. Campbell, as he's often referred to, is mostly a nice guy, but he's a bit of a worm and a sneak and rarely stands up for himself. Well, one day Campbell rats his fellow teacher, Mr. Strickland, played by Ice Cube, out to the principal and gets Strickland fired. After this, Strickland puts his foot down and informs Campbell that he's going to fight him after school in the parking lot to settle this dispute. And the rest of the film is spent primarily with Campbell and the other high school teachers that are looking to train him on how to fight and defend himself against the extremely intimidating Ron Strickland. Okay, so I knew going into this one that it had pretty awful reviews, but I didn't care because these sort of comedy films rarely resonate with the critics on Rotten Tomatoes or other similar sites. I mean, shit, the original Anchorman only has a 66%. There have been plenty of other comedies that I've absolutely loved that got torn to pieces by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, so I rarely let it dissuade me from going to see a film in theaters. But I gotta say, they're right about this one. It really is just kind of a bad movie. I really wanted to love Fist Fight because its two leading actors in Charlie Day and Ice Cube are absolutely hilarious, and I love them in every role they're in. They're fantastic and extremely talented actors, but in Fist Fight, it felt like they were trying to overcompensate for pretty flat characters and a mostly dull and unoriginal script. I think the main problem with the characters is that you spend very little quality time actually getting to know them. Most of the time this film has is just spent watching Charlie Day attempt to weasel his way out of fighting Ice Cube in any way possible while the students continue to make a mockery of him. You get a little bit of family backstory for Campbell, but it's really only there to give a sense of urgency towards the end of the film. That's it. The only thing you know about these two characters is that one is a wimp, sneaky little worm, and one is a hothead hard ass, and they both teach high school. That's it. And look, comedy films aren't notoriously known for quality character development. I get that. That's not generally their forte. But the good ones are generally known for introducing characters that are unique, interesting, or memorable, and these just aren't any of those things. It really is sad because this cast has some really good talent, but they're just not in roles where they can showcase it. While there definitely are some really funny jokes delivered in this film, I'd say about 2/3 of them fall completely flat. So when you combine that with characters that are fairly uninteresting, you have a big problem because something's gotta give. If you have weaker elements, you're gonna have to have some really strong elements to elevate the film in some way, shape, or form and balance things out, and Fist Fight just doesn't have it. There's some really cleverly written jokes in this film, don't get me wrong, but there's also a tendency to sort of fall back on your standard raunchy humor that generally is designed to appeal to males ages like 18 to 34 or so. And this generally works with this specific demographic, which I'm obviously in, but there's a lack of originality here that I think is going to disappoint a lot of moviegoers who purchase a ticket for this film. It even comes across like the film just throws in an over-the-top joke like a horse running through the halls on meth because they're not sure what to put there, and the jokes just don't land as often as you would like. Fist Fight's story also makes little to no sense at all, and I get it, comedies don't always have to make a lot of sense, but the story has to feel coherent and at least somewhat organized. Fist Fight feels like a bunch of individual, commonly themed comedy skits or routines jammed together to fit a movie format. It reminded me of Masterminds in that way in its disorganization and general lack of cohesiveness in the story itself. Not many of these scenes actually feel like they build on one another. They're just happening, and then you get a result way down the line that feels totally way off in the distance. One thing I will say though is that I did enjoy the climax of this film in all its craziness. This is one specific instance where the over-the-top style of the film worked because it felt like an actual payoff for all the mostly underwhelming scenes that came before. This climax is funny, it's exciting, and it actually contributed some character development because Campbell and Strickland both are changed because of it. Even though it's a little abrupt developmentally, it worked for me. But sadly, overall, I was very disappointed with Fist Fight. I wanted to love it, but I just didn't. I did think it had a handful of really hilarious jokes and an exciting and humorous climax. Sadly, I also felt the characters were very flat, a lot of the jokes felt stale, the actors felt like they were overcompensating, and the story has very little cohesiveness to it. I'm gonna give Fist Fight a 5 out of 10 and recommend that you definitely pass on this one in theaters unless you were just dying to see a comedy film with Charlie Day and Ice Cube. So did you guys see Fist Fight yet? What did you think of it? And if you haven't, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite comedy film of 2016 or your favorite Charlie Day and Ice Cube roles, whatever you feel like contributing. And if you enjoyed this video, drop me a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for much more content like this. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.